Seoul, Korea, and welcome to the GSL Code S up and down matches. I'm here with Artosis. I am Tasis. Mix it up there. Normally I say my name first. We're Tastosis, the casting Archon.
You're so kind, Tasteless.
You got to be first sometimes.
Tasteless, do you know what I didn't see on the way to the GOM studio today?
What?
A Dark Templar.
Wow. Wow. We are off to quite a start here at the GSL.
That just came to me. I have to say it.
We have no scripts. What are you going to do? This is
Say
the up
awesome
and down
stuff
matches.
like that,
That's what you got to do. This is the up and down matches of the GSL. So what our players are trying to do right now is stay in Code S. If not, if they manage to lose, and some of them will today, they drop down to Code A. Code A, about as far down on the ladder as you can go as far as televised StarCraft 2 matches go in Korea. Still highly competitive, still much better players than basically anywhere else in the world. But if you drop down to Code A, that means you could be one game away from dropping into Code B, which we don't even put on TV, man. You don't even see it. You become a ghost.
Unhappy place, Tasteless.
That is a sad place to be. It's Code B.
That's where pro gamers go to die.
You know, a lot of people actually, when I talk to them, don't even know that there's a Code B. Did you see this? Where they go to die?
Yeah.
That took me a minute to process.
I see that.
Need some more G-Skill RAM in my brain right now to get that joke a little bit quicker. I don't know.
Well,
one DT joke and
that'll
one
help
RAM
you
joke right at the start.
Remember it, but it would be the Intel chip that makes you get it quicker.
Excuse me.
Maybe some Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I was going to say, we fit some Coca-Cola in there
to make quicker.
Yeah. Before I get my sugar
We
low.
almost make a whole PC out of those three sponsors.
There you go. Nice. So today we have, we're going to have in every single up and down match, some huge named players. But before we talk about these ones today, let's go and look at yesterday's match results. Huck and Inca advance. Shoya plummets down into Code A. He had a crushing defeat. He was very sad after the loss. In Group B, we had Leonok Boyu actually drop off, and it was Ness T and Marine King Prime who managed to stay.
Yeah, they kind of manhandled poor Leonok.
Well, we were talking about it a little bit yesterday, but Leonok has had the most difficult hand dealt to him in every single GSL. Now, in Day 2, we're going to have Virus, FruitDealer, and Ace in our first group. This is going to be pretty exciting. It's going to be tough for Virus, but then again, Virus is a very strong player.
Yeah, he's actually really great.
Yeah. And, of course, below that, Killer, that's Songho, against Xenio and Slayer's Boxer. And Slayer's Boxer, he definitely has the bad end of the stick there because he actually, if he loses his one chance today, he will be in Code A. Slayer's Boxer will be in Code A if he doesn't win today. That's pretty big.
Anyone could come out of either of these groups, Tasteless. And a nice little interesting thing, both groups, a Terran, a Zerg, and a Protoss.
Hey!
We're going to have all sorts of matches today.
It's all even and stuff.
It's not just PvP day.
No, it wasn't like that. It was just like a complete civil war on IR. So our first matchup is going to be...
a civil war on IR nowadays would be between Kerrigan and the Overmind.
Ooh,
because they took it over, Tasteless.
They took it over.
Read your StarCraft
I'm looking at our preview screen right now, and I actually have the Justin Bieber hairdo going on. Dark Bieber. I'm Darth Bieber.
Darth Bieber.
So, as we see over here, our players. ST Virus. Now, this guy is sort of overshadowed by the rest of our players today, but he is a very solid Terran. And as you can see,
he knocked Moon out of Code A.
Yeah.
So, you Warcraft 3 fans out there, direct your hate at this young man.
Yeah, this is definitely the guy to root against if you're a War 3 guy. Now, over here is the FruitDealer. This is the first world champion of StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
He crushed Slayer's Boxer in the show match we got to cast at BlizzCon.
Pretty sick.
And, yeah, he's just blown away by that. And, he has not been doing as well lately. He's still easily, one of the 3 or 4 best Zergs in the world. But, he's been having a tough time as of late. So, it's pretty important for him to make it through here. Ace, you guys know him from the TL, the GOM TV team lead.
And he is the IEM winner.
Yeah.
He got Idra's spot in the up and down matches.
Yeah.
Of course, Idra just moved back to USA.
Yeah.
That traitor.
So, traitor.
Ace an excellent, excellent Protoss. I could not believe that he fell down into Code B. But
you know
here
what's
he is.
funny is we have some of these players that are very good but are still in Code B, working their way up the brackets to get into Code A to ultimately get into Code S. And I think Ace is one of those guys where eventually we should see him in Code S, just like Seed, just like Younghwa. A lot of good players.
Still in Code B.
Yeah, still in Code B.
It's a lot of very talented players down there. In fact, a lot of players that can take out Code S players.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Code S is basically representative of who's had the most success the past few seasons, and who's some of them are easily staying in Code S, and some of them are actually struggling with some of the new blood that we got here.
Tasteless, yeah. I mean, Code A, of course, has a lot of great players as well. But Code B, these players that will eventually be in Code S.
Yes.
And they're stuck down there, that's a whole lot of BS.
Let's take a look at the players now. We're going to throw that up on screen for you guys. Again, our first match is going to be Virus against the Fruit Dealer. I think the Fruit Dealer is probably the most popular player of StarCraft 2, or at least one of them. He's got a big fan base. People love him.
He's really one of the 3 players that dominated during the beta.
He's so good that his amulet was shaking in the booth.
He and Soki Su dominated everything in Korea. They split up the tournaments. They won everything, along with Hydra up there as well. Our
maps are going to be Selanaga Caverns, the Crevasse, and Taldirum Altar. And, I got to say,
good maps. Those are some really good maps.
I think it's going to be pretty good for Fruit Dealer.
I'm getting a little bit wiggly and jiggly right now.
Getting all wiggly?
A little bit wiggly. A little bit jiggly.
Fruit Dealer is so good, man. When this guy logs online, all logs in the battle, it just sends that ripple through cyberspace. It's like internet shuts down in certain parts of the world because he is so good. The internet can barely handle him. Virus, a solid Terran. I would not say he's as distinguished as some of our other Terran players, but you never know. We got new blood, we got old blood, we got tiger blood, we got all sorts of blood. And it's going to be exciting to see who's going to win this. Now remember, if Fruit Dealer or Virus loses, they will have one more chance, but they'll have to go against Ace, and that is no small feat. So head-to-head, Virus against Fruit Dealer, here with Tastes and Artosis Tastosis at the GSL. In the bottom left, in the red, some say this guy is pretty sick. Wow. I just did that. All right. In the upper right, we have the GSL champion of Season 1 and one of the most famous Zergs of all time.
TSA FruitDealer.
Just wow, Tasteless. Kudos to you, good sir.
Thank you, Razor, for the headphones. Those actually change color depending on your APM. Although what I want to do is get Hydra mood headphones, so they will just always be red. Red Zerg anger. All right, so.
It's quite a contrast to White Raw or Damaga headphones, which would always be green or blue.
They'd always be rainbow colored.
They're just flashing.
Now, looks like Fruit Dealer is going to go for a quick expansion here with a drone scout. Now, Artosis and me are both masters level, former pro gamers. Well, we actually still can play competitively when we get the chance, but I want to make sure that this show, as Artosis does, is as newbie accessible as possible. So some people ask me, the nubs, they go, well, why would Zerg scout with a drone if he can already scout with an Overlord? And I said, well, that's a good question, little nub. I pet his head. And I say, the Overlord can't always get there in time. Well, the Overlord, of course, is pretty important considering the supply that it can give. So you want to get in there and you want to check for stuff like, is Terran going to get a refinery? Is he going to build that on his Vespian gas? Yeah. If not, then he's going to go for a fast command center. And in this case, that's exactly what Terran's going to do. He's going to go for a quick command center.
Yep. Just a very economy-heavy build. And, Fruit Dealer, this guy can just do so many different things. I think he's going to be happy with the build that he's scouted. The two barracks openings on this map can be a little bit tricky, as we saw happened to poor Leenock yesterday. So Fruit Dealer should be pretty happy. He can go ahead and develop his economy as much or as little as he likes.
Yeah.
Because there's not going to be any real pressure on him anytime soon.
Now, you got to note here who this Zerg is and the way
Who
that
is
he
he?
plays. Well, he's Fruit Dealer.
Does he deal fruit?
Yeah.
The nub asks.
Yeah. Yes, he does, little nub, but I rub his head. No, the thing about Fruit Dealer's style is that, the closest player you can compare him to is July Zerg, but Fruit Dealer's style is a little bit different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
July Zerg is very aggressive. He will 6-pool. He will, get 3 bases and then just continue to chip away at you until you die. The thing about Fruit Dealer, and I guess the game, if I had to point, if I had to make an example of how Fruit Dealer's different, is the game we saw at BlizzCon where he was against Slayer's Boxer, and after losing his hatchery, or being forced to cancel, he expanded towards Slayer's Boxer to the gold base.
Yeah.
Which is completely insane.
Yeah, he can be a little bit wonky at times.
A little bit wonky.
You know what? Why that's especially funny is his name is Wonky.
Yeah, his name is actually Wonky.
But
I like calling him Fruit Dealer. I call him that in person. I do not want to call him Fruit Dealer, man.
I actually call him Wonky. I've known him for a while.
You know me for a while. You call me Tasus all the time.
Yeah, you get half Tasus, half Nick.
Yep. Sorry, go ahead, Artosis. I ran over you.
No, it's hard to exactly explain the difference between July and Fruit Dealer, but it's a big one. They both mix in a lot of aggression. I feel like July's is better overall, though. Fruit Dealer can be really kind of off the wall, whereas July's, he kind of decides at some point. He's like, all right, it's time.
Yeah, I feel like July Zerg's decisions are actually made in-game.
Yeah, there you go.
I got it. And Fruit Dealers are made in between the games.
Yes, I think...
Oh my God, we got it.
Okay, we
All right,
finally solved the riddle.
Let's stop the cast right now and go home. We did it.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? She's right here. Tasus just found her.
She's in Tasus' secret hallway.
No, that's exactly it, Tasus. I think a lot of times Fruit Dealer's like, oh, I'm going to cheese on that map. Whereas July Zerg, it's like he sees that you missed a depot by 15 seconds and that tees him off to do something different and attack you. So, Fruit Dealer, he is going for 3 hatches. He is getting +1 melee attack. He is not getting a lair. That's what he's not doing, Tasteless. Definitely a high possibility of high economy baneling aggression, or perhaps just mass Zerglings. 3 hatchery Zergling play, you can get a ton of drones off of because Zerglings are just so cheap, and having 3 hatcheries with 2 to 3 queens gives you just insane amounts of production.
Note where the layer is being made, where the Terran is not necessarily going to scan first. Now that's pretty big. Most of the time when we see a 3rd hatchery made, it's made next to one of the other first 2 hatcheries because you need to larva inject quickly, but Fruit Dealer says, nuh-uh.
This queen can do a little walk down.
He wants that queen to get a little bit of exercise.
That's right.
Queen's getting old,
Got to keep active.
Got to stay active.
Got to stay active and eat calcium. You don't want to fall down and break any queen hips.
No.
Queen may, in fact, have 6 hips, but, each hip is important, Tasteless.
Oh, my God.
Now, Virus
is pushing.
Up. Fruit Dealer has good vision of this. He is expanding to the gold. He has a good number of Zerglings out right now. 45 Zerglings, no Banes.
Looks like, now look at that beautiful wall. He knows that a good Zergling Fruit Dealer is actually counterattack.
This will slow Fruit Dealer down really nicely.
Oh, I think Fruit Dealer's at a loss right now.
Oh, I really like that by Virus.
Because, we actually never see Terrans do that because Fruit Dealer's strategy with taking the gold is basically saying, I'm just going to keep counterattacking you until I can get necessary defense. Virus.
Well, Tasus, this is going to be dangerous. Fruit Dealer, though, I think he's going to go for the counterattack still.
I got to say, with this push, I think we less than half the time. Oh, my God, hold that thought. He's breached him.
Suddenly, Virus is walling, not looking so genius. Baneling busting it down. Fruit Dealer looking like he may just give up his natural expansion, and I think that's actually fine. I mean, as long as he can keep dealing a lot of damage with these huge amount of Zerglings coming down. And Tasteless Virus is in a lot of trouble. He's at 69 supply against 85 for FruitDealer. FruitDealer's gold base
Oh my
is
God!
up.
He's near the production facilities down to the Terran. Now this can at times trigger a sudden and abrupt pause.
Yeah.
As you could just basically kill whatever comes out of the Terran's building.
Terran is the one race where if you're standing next to their production facilities with units,
Yeah.
they are totally
Terran units are only good if they stick together.
This was actually such a cool game by FruitDealer. I actually do have my nerd chills right now, Tasteless.
I know, man. Artosis is getting nerd tremors all over his body.
I actually truly am. People might think that I make that up and I'm just saying it as a line, but it's actually true.
Artosis sits there wiggling around in his chair, burning himself with his coffee. Now, the Lings are still here, and, well, no, they're not. They just got killed. But they're leaving. The rest of the Marines are leaving now. Now, here's the problem when you do a push like what Virus has done, is even if you get the hatchery, you're sort of in a weird position.
Where's he going to go now, Tasteless? If he
how
unsieges,
how are you
he
going to
dies.
reinforce this?
Yeah.
It's basically this outpost, and that's great. You took out his hatchery, but FruitDealer took the gold.
And he still had that extra hatchery in his main, which actually makes a huge difference. His production is huge. In fact, it's FruitDealer 92 supply, 39 for Virus. Virus is pretty dead, Tasteless. I mean,
He
his
is.
natural's still under attack by Zerglings. I'm surprised FruitDealer hasn't gone for Baneless speed.
Yeah,
It's melting my brain because he has like 1K 700.
He might think it's upgraded and he's not doing it.
Yeah.
All right, now he's going to go for an all-out flank here from every corner.
And that's going to easily roll through what Virus has left. And GG. FruitDealer asserting his dominance.
Selling his fruit. Artosis.
That was one expensive fruit for Virus.
That was a game with a serious amount of vitamin C, man. You know, what's funny about that is that the moment I saw the Wallen at the expansion, I saw the push happen, I thought, oh, okay, Virus is actually going to kill FruitDealer.
It did look a little bit dangerous, but let's go over the reasons why FruitDealer was able to actually kill Virus. Because, I mean, the Wallen was a very good idea, and the attack up the side, that's something very hard to stop with just Zerglings and some Banelings without speed. But what FruitDealer did was he kept calm. He had already very quickly taken the gold base, already spread his creep out pretty far so that he couldn't just be straight attacked. Really, he had to use that small little tasteless secret hallway so that he couldn't be flanked by the huge amount of Zerglings. So he goes up around all that way, but FruitDealer, he just sacks the hatch at the natural because he says, okay, I have 2 in my main. The gold is going to give me more than enough economy. All I have to do right now is bash down some supply depots and really overrun him because most of his units are gone.
I bet in practice games when Virus had the wall in that would deny counterattacks, I think almost any other Zerg would then reassemble and say, all right, now I'm going to try to just kill this push, and then they would lose.
And also, his main practice partner, I'm sure, is July Zerg. Now, July Zerg, when he does counterattacks in ZVT, he likes to use just Zerglings. He doesn't like to use Banelings. So that is a great wall against just Zerglings. You sit a couple Marines are behind, you're safe as you can be. But FruitDealer, on the other hand, he had already decided to go Banelings. So, stylistically, Virus may have lost that partially because he practices with July Zerg, who just plays differently than FruitDealer.
Yeah, FruitDealer is very Baneling reliant to Terran versus Zerg and Zerg versus Zerg.
And our next map,
time.
Crevasse. Or Crevice.
Crevasse. Let's say Crevasse. Sounds sexier. All right, game number 2. Virus looked pretty strong, but why am I... It's like Freudian slip.
But Tasteless is going to win.
I'm like, but Tasteless is going to make it to the finals no matter what. Let's see if FruitDealer can close us out to a Virus is going to do this.